Welcome to Monk's Temple. Before we speak a single word of doctrine, I want you to do something very simple. Become aware of the weight of your own body. Feel the place where your body makes contact with the surface beneath you. The shoulders against the chair. The feet against the floor. The back against the mattress. Just feel that. Now notice the silence behind my voice. Not the silence of emptiness. The silence of presence. That silence has been here the entire time. It was here before you pressed play. It will be here after this teaching ends. It is the canvas. The sky that holds the clouds without ever becoming the clouds. In the Buddhist tradition, we call this the unconditioned. The thing that was not born and cannot die. The thing that simply is. Most human beings never notice this silence. Too busy. Too convinced the clouds are the only reality. But you, right now, are touching it. This is the beginning of patience. Not grim endurance. Not white-knuckling through discomfort. Just the quiet recognition that there is a part of you that has never been in a hurry. The Buddha pointed to this part of you when he said, patience is the highest virtue. He did not mean you should learn to tolerate suffering. He meant you should learn to inhabit the aspect of your awareness that has always been patient. Let me tell you a story. A man named Chandama drove for a wealthy family in Colombo. 14 hours a day. Waiting in parking lots. Trapped in traffic jams that stretched for kilometers. He hated waiting. Hated the heat. Hated the sound of horns. One day, his employer attended a retreat at Monk's Temple. Chandama waited in the car park. The retreat lasted 3 days. On the second day, bored beyond endurance, he walked into the courtyard. An old monastic swept leaves. Very slowly. Each movement deliberate. Each leaf guided, not forced. Chandama watched for 20 minutes. Finally he said, "Why sweep so slowly? The leaves will just fall again tomorrow." The monastic did not stop sweeping. Today's leaves are today's leaves. Tomorrow's leaves are tomorrow's leaves. I am not sweeping to clean the ground. I am sweeping to sweep. Chandama returned to the car. But something had shifted. That night, sitting in the dark car park, he noticed the silence behind the traffic noise. The weight of his body against the seat. His breath moving without any effort. He sat there for 3 hours. No phone. No radio. He just was. When his employer returned, Chandama said, "Sir, I am quitting driving. I am going to become a gardener." "You don't know anything about gardening." "I know how to sweep." He is still at Monk's Temple. 18 years now. Tourists photograph him. They ask his secret. No secret. The broom does the work. I just hold it. This is patience. Not waiting for something better. Not enduring the present for a future reward. Just holding the broom. If this teaching has touched something in you, I invite you to subscribe to Monk's Temple. Not for content. For community. When you subscribe, you are saying, I choose to cultivate patience. I choose to remember what I have always known. Hit the subscribe button. Allow these teachings to find you. Subscribe now. Chandama's story reveals an essential truth. Patience is not acquired. It is uncovered. Think of a lake in the rainy season. Rain strikes the surface. Ripples upon ripples. The water is agitated. You cannot see the bottom. But the rain stops. The ripples spread, soften, fade. Without any effort, the surface becomes still. Did the lake do anything to become still? No. The stillness was always there, underneath the agitation. It only needed to be revealed. Your mind is the same. You have not failed to develop patience. You have simply been caught in a rainstorm. Notifications. Deadlines. Comparisons. Endless doing. But the rain is not permanent. The Buddha observed that all conditioned things are impermanent. Your agitation. Your anxiety. Your frustration. These are weather patterns. They arise. They abide. They cease. Patience is not the absence of rain. Patience is knowing the rain will pass and the stillness will return, not because you forced it, but because that is its nature. Modern neuroscience calls this the default mode network. When your mind is not focused on a task, it defaults to self-referential thought. Past. Future. Comparison. Worth. This is the internal rainstorm. Meditation quiets this network. Not by fighting. By shifting attention away from the content of thoughts and toward the awareness in which thoughts arise. This is why the Buddha emphasized mindfulness over concentration. Concentration is effort. Mindfulness is recognition. You do not need to force stillness. You only need to recognize that stillness is already there. Let me tell you another story. Shyamali was a lawyer in Singapore. She billed by the minute. She ate lunch at her desk. She slept with her phone on her chest. Her doctor said she would die of stress. She came to monk's temple unwillingly. In the kitchen, an elderly monastic named Banti Siddha chopped vegetables at a pace she found agonizing. Banti, if you cut faster, you could finish in 10 minutes instead of an hour. And what would I do with the extra 50 minutes? Chop more vegetables. And then what? Prepare for tomorrow's meals. And then what? Shyamali had no answer. The question is not how to finish faster. The question is why you believe finishing is the goal. On the 5th day, washing rice, Shyamali noticed the water was beautiful. Milky white. Swirling around her fingers. Catching the morning light. She stood there 20 minutes. Just watching water. When she returned to Singapore, colleagues asked what she learned. I learned that rice water is beautiful. She still met deadlines. But the frantic quality was gone. The rain had slowed. She did not become patient. She stopped being impatient. This is the paradox. You cannot become patient through effort. Effort implies a gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap is impatience itself. Close the gap not by rushing toward patience, but by recognizing you have never been separate from it. Let us sit together a moment longer. You have touched the silence now. But the mind is clever. It will try to turn this recognition into another project. I must become more patient. I must meditate longer. Do you see it? Impatience disguised as practice. The Buddha saw this clearly. The path itself can become an obstacle. The finger pointing at the moon is mistaken for the moon. The raft used to cross the river is carried on the head long after the crossing is complete. So we must ask, am I practicing patience, or am I practicing impatience with my impatience? A young monk named Enoughness came to monk's temple burning with ambition. He had read the sutras. He knew the path had 4 stages. He wanted the first stage immediately. He meditated 10 hours daily. Ate 1 meal. Slept on wood. Did not speak unless spoken to. 3 months later, he was miserable. His mind was more restless than when he arrived. He went to his teacher. I am doing everything correctly. Why am I not progressing? What is your goal? Stream entry. The first stage of enlightenment. Then you will never achieve it. Enoughness was devastated. Am I unworthy? Stream entry is called stream entry because you must enter the stream. You are standing on the bank measuring the distance. Calculating the steps. Checking your progress every second. The stream is right there. Stop measuring. Step in. But how will I know when I have entered? You will know because you will be wet. This is spiritual materialism. We turn patience into performance. We measure our stillness. We evaluate our non-attachment. We strive to stop striving. The stream flows past us, untouched. Here is a psychological truth. The human brain has a negativity bias. It scans for threats. It assumes the future will be worse than the present. This kept our ancestors alive. A lion might be behind that bush. Better assume the worst. But this same bias makes patience feel unnatural. Your brain says, something is wrong. Act now. Impatience is not a character flaw. It is a survival instinct misfiring in a world without lions. The Buddha did not condemn this instinct. He observed it. The mind grasps for solid ground in a river of change. It clings to the bank. It refuses to trust the current. Patience is releasing the bank and discovering the water holds you. A woman named Nirmala was a midwife. She delivered over 500 babies. Known for her calm presence. Even in emergencies. Even when families panicked. A young apprentice asked, "How do you stay so calm? Do you not feel afraid?" "Of course I feel afraid. Fear is natural. But I do not confuse my fear with the mother's labor. Her labor is its own process. My fear is my own weather. I do not make it her problem." But what if the baby is in distress? What if there is bleeding? Then I act. Quickly. Precisely. But I do not act from panic. I act from presence. Panic is fast. Presence is faster. Patience is not slow. It is the absence of friction caused by resistance. When you are fully present, action flows without hesitation. The baby is born. Patience is not waiting. Patience is arriving so completely that waiting is no longer possible. Every impatient thought contains a hidden belief. This moment is insufficient. Something better is coming. I must rush through now to reach then. But where is then? Can you ever touch it? Try. Reach for the next moment. You cannot. The next moment is always exactly one moment away. You will never arrive there. You will never live in the future. You will only ever live now. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Time is not a series of boxes. Time is continuous unfolding. The present moment is not a point on a line. The present moment is the entire line. The Buddha expressed this through impermanence. Not just that things change, but that change is so constant there is no solid thing to hold it all. You cannot step into the same river twice because the river is not the same and you are not the same. Patience is recognizing you have never been anywhere except this river. You have always been wet. A man named Ratnapala was a gem merchant. He carried his wealth in a leather pouch tied to his waist. Bandits stopped his cart, held a knife to his throat, demanded the pouch. He handed it over. They fled. He sat on the road a long time. Not weeping. Not cursing. Just sitting. His driver urged him to go to the authorities. Later, after an hour, he stood, brushed the dust from his robes, and walked to the nearest village. He found work as a laborer. Never returned to gem trading. Years later, someone asked, "How could you lose everything and not become bitter?" I did not lose everything. I lost a pouch. The bandits did not take my hands. They did not take my breath. They did not take the sky. I carried that pouch 20 years. I did not realize how heavy it was until it was gone. He paused. I have been patient my whole life. I just did not know it. I thought patience was waiting to get more. It is not. Patience is realizing you already have enough. Patience is not about time. It is about wait. We are not impatient because things take too long. We are impatient because we carry too much. Expectations. Comparisons. The image of how life should be. When you set down the weight of expectation, time collapses. 5 minutes of waiting feels no different than 5 minutes of sitting. The suffering was never in the duration. The suffering was in the resistance. Try this today. When impatience rises, do not ask, "How long will this take?" Ask, "What am I carrying that makes this heavy?" The pouch may be heavier than you realized. The Buddha placed patience at the summit of virtue. Not kindness. Not generosity. Not even wisdom. Patience. Because without patience, kindness burns out. Without patience, generosity becomes resentment. Without patience, wisdom is just intelligence used to serve impatience. Patience is the container. It holds everything else. Imagine a cup. The cup is patience. Kindness is the water. If the cup is cracked, the water spills. If the cup is absent, there is no place to pour. You are not here to become patient. You are here to recognize that you are the cup. You have always been the cup. The cracks are just stories you believed about yourself. Let the cracks be. The water still pours. Let your breath settle. There is nowhere to reach. Nothing to accomplish. Just this. We have spoken of patience as recognition. As release. As the cup that holds all virtues. But a question lingers. If patience is not effort, not striving, then how do I practice it? What do I actually do? The Buddha answered with one word, mindfulness. Not concentration. Not suppression. Not positive thinking. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is direct observation without interference. It is not doing. It is seeing. When impatience arises, mindfulness does not fight it. It simply notices, impatience is here. Heat in the chest. Pressure behind the eyes. Stories about being late, about slow lines, about wasted time. Mindfulness does not argue with stories. It sees them as thoughts. Clouds passing. And in that seeing, something shifts. The clouds remain. But you stop believing you are the clouds. A man named Sunil designed bridges. He understood load, tension, stress. He could calculate exactly how much weight a structure could bear before failure. But Sunil could not calculate his own breaking point. He was constantly impatient. With slow colleagues. With slow software. With his own wandering mind. He came to Monk's temple. I need a technique to eliminate my impatience. The teacher said, how do bridges fail? Sunil was confused. What? Bridges? How do they fail? He relaxed. Familiar ground. Resonant frequency. Soldiers marching in step. Their rhythm matches the bridge's frequency. Oscillations amplify. The bridge shakes itself apart. Exactly. Your impatience is not the problem. Your resistance to impatience is the problem. You march in step with what you want to destroy. Stop marching. Let the rhythm pass through. Sunil sat with this for 3 days. On day 4, he waited for tea. Long line. Slow cook. The familiar heat rose. The pressure. The story, this is inefficient. My time is wasted. But he did not march. He did not resist. He stood and felt the heat. Did not try to make it leave. Did not try to understand it. Just felt it. Minutes passed. The heat softened. The pressure dissolved. The story lost urgency. He received his tea. It tasted different. Not sweeter. More present. Sunil later said, I spent 20 years designing bridges to withstand stress. I never learned to let stress pass through me instead of holding it. This is the psychology of mindfulness. When you resist an emotion, your brain interprets resistance as confirmation of threat. He is fighting this. This must be dangerous. Fight or flight activates. Adrenaline releases. The feeling intensifies. When you observe without resistance, your brain receives a different message. He is not fighting. Not an emergency. Threat response deactivates. The feeling passes through you like weather. Not philosophy. Biology. The Buddha called this letting go. Not pushing away. Not escaping. Just releasing the grip. You cannot stop the rain. But you can stop clutching the roof. A woman named Chitra was a classical dancer. Her body knew rhythms most people could not hear. Her feet told stories. Arthritis stole her ankles. The pain was constant. She could not perform. She came to Monk's temple hoping meditation would cure her pain. It did not. The pain remained. Sharp some days. dull others. Sometimes just background hum. But something else happened. Chitra learned to listen to her pain like music. Not an enemy to defeat. Not a mistake to correct. Just sound. Vibration. Sensation. She told her teacher, the pain is still here. But the suffering is gone. What is the difference? She thought a long time. Pain is what the body feels. Suffering is what the mind adds. The story that says, this should not be happening. This is unfair. I cannot bear this. When I stopped believing the story, the pain became just sensation. Like the drum. Like the flute. Another instrument. She paused. I cannot dance anymore. But I have become the audience. I sit and watch the body play its music. Some notes sharp. Some notes flat. All of them pass. This is the highest patience. Not absence of discomfort. Not endurance of pain. Not waiting for improvement. The willingness to let things be exactly as they are, without demanding they become something else. The Buddha called this equanimity. The 10th perfection. The culmination of all virtues. Equanimity is not indifference. Indifference says, I do not care. Equanimity says, I care completely, and I release the outcome. A mother watches her child learn to walk. The child falls. She does not rush to pick him up. She kneels, arms open, present. She does not prevent the falling. She trusts the process. She knows the falling is the walking. This is how you treat your own mind. You are learning to walk in patience. You will fall. You will grasp. You will stand on the bank counting steps instead of entering the water. This is not failure. This is the path. The stream does not judge the fish. It just holds the water. A young mother named Lakshmi came to monk's temple. 3 children under 5. Not 3 consecutive hours of sleep in 4 years. Exhausted. Irritable. Convinced she was failing. I don't have time to meditate. I don't have time to breathe. My children need me every second. How can I practice patience when I never have a moment to myself? Do you feed your children? Of course. Do you bathe them? Yes. Do you comfort them when they cry? Every day. Many times a day. Then you are meditating. Lakshmi stared. This is not meditation. This is survival. What is meditation? Only sitting cross-legged with eyes closed. Only silence and incense and special cushions. Or the willingness to be fully present for whatever arises. She did not answer. Your children are your cushion. Their cries are your mantra. Their needs are your breath. You are not practicing despite them. You are practicing through them. Lakshmi left. No sitting meditation. No chanting. No incense. But something shifted. Her toddler screamed because a banana broke in half. Lakshmi did not scream back. Did not fix the banana. She sat on the kitchen floor and held space for the grief of broken fruit. 3 minutes. The child cried. Lakshmi breathed. The banana remained broken. Then it was over. The child ran off. Lakshmi sat on the floor and laughed. She had just meditated 3 minutes on impermanence. Her cushion was linoleum. You do not need more time. You do not need quieter conditions. You do not need perfect posture or perfect teachers or perfect retreat centers. You need only the willingness to be here. Not better here. Not more peaceful here. Not enlightened here. Just here. The banana breaks. The baby cries. The traffic does not move. The email does not arrive. The diagnosis does not change. The grief does not lift. And you remain. Not because you are strong. Not because you are holy. Because you have finally stopped trying to leave. This is patience. This is the highest virtue. You are already wet. Rest here. Not because you are tired. Because rest is not earned. It is remembered. We have spoken of mindfulness. Of equanimity. But there is a deeper current. You are not learning patience. You are remembering you have always been patient. Impatience is the visitor. Patience is the home. A man named Pyle was a watchmaker. His father was a watchmaker. His grandfather was a watchmaker. 3 generations of hands repairing time. But Pyle wanted to be a musician. Symphonies. Concert halls. Standing ovations. Instead, he sat alone fitting springs into cases too small to see without magnification. He was bitter. Every tick was a reminder of the life he did not choose. One day, an old woman brought a pocket watch. It belonged to her husband. Dead 40 years. The watch had not run since his funeral. She did not want it repaired. She wanted it opened. Pyle was confused. You don't want me to fix it? No. I want to see the inside. What he carried next to his heart for 50 years. Pyle opened the back case. Inside, the mechanism was frozen. Gears locked by decades of stillness. But the engraving was visible. To my love. Time means nothing without you. He stared at those words. She held the watch in her palm. He was not a patient man. He honked in traffic. Tapped his foot at restaurants. But he wore this watch every day for 50 years. Wounded every morning. Never forgot. Not once. She closed her palm. Patience is not about waiting. It is about showing up. Every day. Even when you do not want to. She left. Pyle sat surrounded by ticking clocks. For the first time, he did not hear prison bars. He heard heartbeats. He still has not composed a symphony. But he winds every clock before locking the shop. Not because he must. Because someone, somewhere, is waiting to hear it tick. This is patience. Not absence of resistance. Presence of commitment. You do not become patient by erasing desire for something else. You become patient by showing up anyway. The Buddha did not teach that craving disappears before enlightenment. Between here and there, craving remains. You want to be elsewhere. You want the path shorter. And still you sit. This is patience. Sitting when you do not want to sit. Modern behaviorism confirms this. Consistency predicts long-term change more than intensity. 5 minutes daily for 1 year transforms more than 5 hours daily for 1 month. Why? The 5-minute practitioner is not staging a coup against their own mind. They are simply showing up. No drama. No heroism. Just repetition. The Buddha called this appamita. Diligence. Heel of the footprint. Not flashy. One foot after the other. The tortoise wins because the tortoise does not stop. A woman named Samantha taught first grade. 26 children, each convinced the universe revolved around their immediate needs. She loved them. She also wanted to lock herself in the supply closet and weep. Lost shoes. Broken pencils. Tears because the blue crayon was missing. She came to Monk's temple. I need industrial strength patience. Do you have a meditation for that? Do you know the name of every child? 26 names. Do you know which child needs the blue crayon and which needs the green? I keep a chart. Do you know which child lost a parent? Which eats dinner alone? Which wears shoes too small because the family cannot afford new ones? Samantha was quiet. Yes. I know these things. Then you already have industrial strength patience. You just call it love. She cried. No one had ever told her that knowing 26 small hearts was the highest form of waiting. She returned to her classroom. Chaos remained. Lost shoes. Broken pencils. But she no longer saw chaos. She saw children. Patience does not change the external world. It changes what you perceive. You cannot make the line move faster. You cannot make the child stop crying. You cannot make grief stop arriving. But you can change what you see. Not through positive thinking. Through presence. When fully present, a waiting room is not antechamber. It is not space before your real life begins. It is life itself. Complete. Entire. Sufficient. The Buddha said, the present moment is the only moment you ever possess. Not to frighten you into seizing the day. To release you from the tyranny of tomorrow. You do not need to wait for your real life to start. It started. You were too impatient to notice. A man named Asanka fished the same coast for 40 years. He knew currents. Winds. Where fish gathered and where they hid. But he was old now. His hands could not pull nets. His eyes could not read the water. His son took the boat. Asanka stayed home. He sat on the porch and watched the horizon. Day after day. Hour after hour. His daughter-in-law brought tea. Brought blankets. Asked if he was sad. I am not sad. I am fishing. But you have no boat. No nets. I never fished with nets. I fished with patience. The nets were just tools. Patience was the skill. He sipped his tea. The fish are still there. I am still here. This is still fishing. You are still here. Whatever you lost. Whatever you wait for. Whatever you fear you will never become. You are still here. This is not consolation. This is the path. The boat is gone. The nets are gone. The horizon remains. And you remain with it. This is patience. Not waiting for the fish. Just sitting with the water. Breathe. Just one breath. You do not need to prepare. You do not need to become ready. You are already here. We have spoken of patience as showing up, as commitment, as seeing clearly. But there is a question that rises from the depths. It rises in moments of genuine crisis. It rises when the waiting stretches beyond what feels humanly possible. How long? How long must I sit with this pain? How long must I wait for this to change? How long must I practice patience before patience becomes natural? The Buddha answered this question with silence. Not because he was cruel. Because the question itself is the obstacle. Let me tell you about a man named Dr. Pereira. Dr. Pereira was a surgeon. One of the best in the country. His hands had saved thousands of lives. He could repair a ruptured vessel in seconds. He could see beneath skin, beneath muscle, straight to the source of suffering. Then his own daughter became ill. Not an illness that could be cut out. Not an illness that could be sutured or transplanted or medicated. A slow illness. A degenerative illness. An illness that took her legs first, then her hands, then her voice. Dr. Pereira sat beside her bed for 18 months. He could not operate. He could not fix. He could only sit. His colleagues sent research papers. His friends recommended specialists in other countries. His wife begged him to do something, anything. He did nothing. He just sat. The night his daughter died, she moved her lips. No sound came out. But he knew what she was trying to say. Thank you. After the funeral, another surgeon said, I don't understand. You are the most skilled man I know. Why couldn't you save her? Dr. Pereira said, I did save her. Not from death. From dying alone. He paused. For 18 months, I gave her the only thing I had left to give. Not my skill. My presence. I was not her father the surgeon. I was just her father. He never operated again. Not because he lost his skill. Because he learned that some wounds cannot be cut out. They can only be held. This is the patience the Buddha pointed toward. Not the patience of endurance. The patience of presence. Endurance says, I will bear this until it ends. Presence says, this is not bearing. This is being. The surgeon did not endure 18 months. He lived 18 months. Fully. Completely. Not waiting for his daughter to recover. Not waiting for her to die. Just living each moment beside her. There is no how long in presence. There is only now. Let me give you a psychological framework. The human mind measures time in two ways. Chronos and Kairos. Chronos is clock time. Minutes. Hours. Years. Sequential. Measurable. Finite. Kairos is lived time. The quality of presence. A single moment with your dying daughter contains more life than a decade of distraction. We suffer because we live in Chronos and ignore Kairos. We count the days instead of inhabiting them. The Buddha taught that time is an illusion not because clocks are wrong. Time is an illusion because the present moment is not a point on a line. It is the entire line, experienced simultaneously. When you are fully present, Chronos loses its power. 5 minutes of waiting feels no different than 5 minutes of dancing. The duration is identical. The experience is not. Let me tell you about a woman named Thushari. Thushari was a rice farmer. She had worked the same paddy field since childhood. She knew the cycle. Planting, growing, harvesting, fallow, then planting again. One year, the rains did not come. The earth cracked. The seedlings withered. The crop failed. Her neighbors abandoned their fields. They moved to the city. They found work in factories, in construction, in anything that paid. Thus Hari stayed. She did not stay because she was hopeful. She stayed because this was her field. Her father's field. Her grandfather's field. The rice did not grow, but the field was still hers. She walked the boundaries every morning. She pulled weeds that somehow survived. She talked to the empty paddies. People thought she had lost her mind. The next year, the rains returned. Thus Hari planted. The rice grew. Her harvest was the largest in the district. A journalist came to interview her. How did you know the rains would come back? Thus Hari said, I did not know. I still do not know. They may not come again next year. That is not why I stayed. Then why did you stay? She looked at her field. Because it is mine. Because I am a farmer. Farmers do not farm only when the rain is certain. Farmers farm. This is patience without guarantee. Not patience because you believe the outcome will be favorable. Patience because the practice itself is the fulfillment. You do not meditate to become peaceful. You meditate because you are a meditator. You do not practice patience to get what you want. You practice patience because this is who you are. The Buddha called this right effort. Not effort toward a goal. Effort as expression of nature. A fish does not try to swim. It swims because it is a fish. You do not need to try to be patient. You need to remember you are patience itself, covered over by the dust of wanting. Let me tell you one more story. A boy came to monk's temple. He was maybe 10 years old. His mother brought him because he could not sit still in school. The teacher said he had a disorder. They said he needed medication. The boy sat in the courtyard with his mother. He fidgeted. He kicked stones. He asked every 30 seconds when they could leave. An old monk watched from across the courtyard. After an hour, he walked over and sat beside the boy. He did not tell the boy to be still. He did not lecture him about patience. He just sat. The boy looked at him. Why aren't you saying anything? The monk said, I am waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for you to stop waiting to leave. The boy stared at him. Then he picked up a stick and drew circles in the dust. He drew circles for 20 minutes. The monk sat beside him. The mother held her breath. Finally, the boy said, "I like circles." The monk said, "Circles are patient. They have no beginning and no end. They do not try to become squares." The boy laughed. "Circles are stupid. Maybe. But they roll. Squares just sit there." The boy kept drawing circles until the sun set. He still has difficulty sitting still. But his mother says he draws now. Circles. Spirals. Mandalas. He draws them slowly. Carefully. Not because he is trying to be patient. Because he discovered that circles do not need to become squares. You do not need to become something else. You do not need to fix your impatience. You do not need to medicate your restlessness. You do not need to transform your nature. You need only to recognize that your nature is already patient. The restlessness is just circles trying to convince themselves they are squares. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are a circle learning to roll. Rest your attention here. Not on my words. On the space between them. That space is where patience lives. We have spoken of presence. Of commitment. Of showing up without guarantee. But there is a shadow side to patience. A distortion. A counterfeit that wears the robes of virtue but serves only the ego. False patience. False patience is waiting while secretly resenting. It is smiling while calculating when your suffering will end. It is endurance poisoned by entitlement. The Buddha recognized this. He taught that patience without wisdom is just suppression with a pretty name. Let me tell you about a man named Jayasena. Jayasena was a businessman. He prided himself on his patience. While others shouted in meetings, he remained silent. While others lost clients to temper, he kept his smile. He believed his patience was the source of his success. But at home, his wife saw something else. He never shouted at her either. He never criticized. He never complained. He simply withdrew. When she spoke, he nodded. When she asked questions, he gave short answers. When she needed connection, he was already somewhere else. She said, "You are not patient. You are absent." Jayasena was offended. "I never raise my voice. I never lose control. I am the most patient man you know." She said, "Patience is not absence. Patience is presence that does not run away. You are not present. You are hiding inside your silence." He came to monk's temple confused and defensive. The teacher said, "Do you know the difference between a still lake and a frozen one?" Jayasena did not answer. A still lake reflects the sky. It moves with the wind. It receives rain without resistance. It is liquid patience. A frozen lake is hard. Nothing penetrates it. Nothing moves it. Nothing touches it. It looks still, but it is dead. The teacher paused. Your patience is frozen. You have not learned to receive life. You have learned to resist it. Jayasena stayed at the temple for 1 month. He did not learn to shout. He learned to thaw. This is the psychological distinction. Suppression pushes emotion down. Patience lets emotion move through. Suppression creates pressure. Patience creates flow. Suppression says, I will not express this anger because it is dangerous. Patience says, I feel anger arising and I do not need to act on it. It will pass. Suppression is frozen. Patience is liquid. The Buddha called this nekkhamma. Renunciation. Not the renunciation of experience. The renunciation of clinging to experience. You do not need to stop feeling. You need to stop clutching. Let me tell you about a woman named Deepa. Deepa was a nurse in a cancer ward. She worked with patients who were dying. Some were young. Some were old. All of them were afraid. Deepa was excellent at her job. She was calm. She was kind. She never cried in front of patients. Never lost patience with demanding families. Never rushed through her shifts. But every night, she drove home and sat in her car in the garage for 30 minutes. She did not go inside. She did not listen to music. She just sat in the dark, staring at the wall. Her husband asked why. She said, I am emptying myself. If I do not empty, I will overflow. She believed this was patience. She believed she was containing suffering so others did not have to feel it. One night, she was too tired to empty. She walked inside and collapsed on the couch. Her husband sat beside her. He did not speak. He just sat. After a long silence, Deepa began to cry. Not the controlled tears of release. The uncontrollable sobs of grief she had been storing for years. She cried for the young mother who would not see her daughter graduate. She cried for the old man who died alone because his family lived overseas. She cried for herself, for carrying all of it, for believing she had to carry it alone. Her husband held her. He did not say, you should have told me. He did not say, you need to take better care of yourself. He just held her. The next morning, Deepa returned to work. She did not resign. She did not request lighter shifts. But something had changed. She still held hands. She still listened to fears. She still accompanied the dying into their final silence. But she no longer believed she was the container. She was just the space where suffering passed through. This is true patience. Not the capacity to hold infinite pain without breaking. The willingness to let pain pass through you without damming it. You are not a warehouse. You are a corridor. The Buddha taught that clinging is suffering. But we often cling to our patience. We are proud of how much we can endure. We measure our spiritual progress by how much discomfort we can tolerate without cracking. This is not patience. This is armoring. Patience does not armor you. Patience opens you. It does not make you impervious to life. It makes you permeable to life. The frozen lake does not reflect the sky. The still lake does. Let me tell you one more story. A young monk named Somaratna was assigned to clean the temple latrines. Every morning, he scrubbed toilets. Every morning, he hated it. He did not complain. He did not ask for a different task. He scrubbed with silent resentment for 6 months. One day, an older monk named Bhante Punnaji worked beside him. Bhante Punnaji scrubbed slowly. He sang softly while he worked. His brush moved in circles. Somaratna said, "How can you sing while cleaning filth?" Bhante Punnaji said, "What filth?" Somaratna gestured at the toilet. "This. Excrement. Urine. What people leave behind." Bhante Punnaji looked at the toilet. Then he looked at Somaratna. "Where do you think flowers come from?" Somaratna had no answer. Flowers grow from manure. The richest soil is decay. You are not cleaning filth. You are preparing the earth. Somaratna did not suddenly love cleaning toilets. But he stopped resenting it. He stopped being frozen. He became liquid. You do not need to love your difficulties. You do not need to pretend suffering is pleasant. You do not need to manufacture gratitude for pain. You only need to stop believing that your resistance is patience. Resistance is endurance. Patience is permeability. The frozen lake breaks under weight. The still lake receives everything and remains itself. You are not learning to endure more. You are learning to freeze less. Let the thaw begin. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the breath moving without your permission. You do not command the lungs. You do not instruct the heart. They continue without your effort. This is patience. Not something you do. Something you allow. We have spoken of false patience. Of suppression disguised as virtue. Of the frozen lake that mistakes stillness for death. But there is another obstacle. Perhaps the most persistent. The belief that patience is passive. That waiting means weakness. That sitting quietly means accepting injustice. That non-resistance is the same as surrender. This misunderstanding has caused immeasurable suffering. People have endured abuse in the name of patience. They have silenced their voices, believing the Buddha instructed them to be doormats. This is not Buddhism. This is distortion. Let me tell you about a woman named Amali. Amali worked in a garment factory. 14 hours a day. 6 days a week. The windows did not open. The fans did not work. The supervisors shouted and sometimes worse. She came to Monk's temple on her one day off. She said, "I am trying to practice patience. But I am filled with rage. Every morning I chant loving kindness. Every night I pray for my supervisors. But the rage returns. What am I doing wrong?" The teacher said, "Why do you believe patience requires you to accept mistreatment?" Amali was confused. The Buddha said patience is the highest virtue. He said we should not retaliate. We should not seek revenge. The teacher said, not retaliating is not the same as not acting. Non-revenge is not the same as non-response. He picked up a cup. If this cup were filled with poison, would patience require you to drink it? Of course not. Then why do you drink poison daily and call it patience? Amali did not answer. The teacher said, patience is not the absence of action. Patience is the absence of hatred in your action. You can leave the factory. You can demand better conditions. You can organize with your co-workers. None of these require hatred. They require clarity. Amali returned to the factory. She did not quit. But she stopped chanting for her supervisors. She started speaking to her coworkers. Quietly at first. Then in groups. Then in meetings. It took 2 years. But the windows opened. The fans were repaired. The supervisors stopped shouting. Not because Amali became patient. Because she stopped confusing patience with passivity. This is the distinction the Buddha taught. Patience is not the absence of action. Patience is the absence of reactivity. Action arises from wisdom. Reactivity arises from aversion. When you act from clarity, you move precisely. You do not need to shout. You do not need to threaten. You simply see what is required and do it. When you act from aversion, you move chaotically. You strike out. You punish. You seek to make others suffer as you have suffered. The Buddha did not teach non-action. He taught right action. Action unpoisoned by hatred. Let me give you a psychological framework. The human nervous system has 3 responses to threat: fight, flight, and freeze. Fight is aggression. Flight is escape. Freeze is collapse. None of these are patience. They are survival reflexes. True patience is a 4th option. It is not hardwired. It must be cultivated. We call it presence. The capacity to perceive threat clearly without activating the survival reflex. When you are present, you do not fight. You do not flee. You do not freeze. You see. You assess. You respond appropriately. Sometimes appropriate response is leaving. Sometimes it is staying. Sometimes it is speaking. Sometimes it is silence. Patience does not dictate the action. Patience clears the space in which wise action can arise. Let me tell you about a man named Bangela. Bangela was a prison guard. He worked in a maximum security facility. He had seen violence. He had participated in violence. He believed patience was impossible in his profession. He came to Monk's temple because his wife threatened to leave him. She said he brought the prison home. His anger lived with them like a 3rd person in the marriage. Bangela said, "You don't understand. In my job, patience gets you killed. You have to be hard. You have to react fast." The teacher said, "Show me." Bangela was confused. "Show you what?" "Show me how you react. I will be an inmate. You be the guard." Bangela hesitated. Then he stood. His body changed. Shoulders back. Jaw tight. Eyes scanning. The teacher sat quietly. He did not move. He did not speak. He just sat. Bangela stood there, ready to fight. But there was nothing to fight. His tension had no target. After 5 minutes, he sat down. "I don't understand. Why didn't you attack me?" The teacher said, "Why do you assume attack is the only possibility?" Bangela had no answer. The teacher said, "You have spent 20 years preparing for a moment that rarely comes. You have trained your body to fight. But you have not trained your mind to discern. Not every inmate is a threat. Not every silence is a setup. Not every situation requires your armor. Bangela did not quit his job. But he stopped wearing his armor at home. He learned that patience is not the absence of strength. It is the discernment of when strength is actually required. Let me tell you one more story. A young activist came to monk's temple. His name was Enoughness. He protested against corruption. He had been arrested 7 times. He had been beaten twice. He said, "I am losing my patience. Not with the system. With myself. I am supposed to be non-violent. But inside, I am screaming. I want to break things. I want to hurt the people who hurt my country." The teacher said, "Non-violence is not the absence of anger. It is the refusal to let anger become cruelty." No one said, "Then what do I do with my anger?" The teacher said, "Feel it. Let it move through you. Then act from clarity, not from vomit." Vomit? Anger unexamined is vomit. It just spews everywhere. It burns the throat and stains the floor. Anger examined is fuel. It burns clean. It propels without poisoning. No one sat with this for a long time. He still protests. He has been arrested 3 more times. But he no longer screams inside. He burns clean. You do not need to abandon action. You do not need to abandon strength. You do not need to abandon voice. You need only to abandon hatred. Not because hatred is immoral. Because hatred is inaccurate. It distorts your perception. It makes you fight shadows. It makes you attack the innocent and miss the source. Patience clears the lens. Then you see clearly. And then you act. Not as a doormat. As a presence. The Buddha did not sit under the Bodhi tree because he was passive. He sat because he was preparing. When he rose, he walked. He spoke. He transformed the world. Not through hatred. Through clarity. This is your path as well. Sit. Clear. Rise. Act. Patience is not the refusal to move. Patience is the refusal to move before you see. We have walked far together. You have sat with watchmakers and fishermen, with surgeons and farmers, with prisoners and activists. You have touched the silence behind my voice and recognized the patience that has always been yours. Now we arrive at the end. But endings are only beginnings in disguise. The Buddha lay down between 2 sal trees. His body was old. His work was complete. His disciples wept. But the Buddha did not weep. He did not cling to the life leaving his body. He did not grasp at the teachings he had offered. He did not demand more time. He simply lay there, present, breathing, until the breath dissolved into the silence from which it came. His last words were not complicated. He did not recite sutras. He did not perform miracles. He said, "Impermanence is inherent in all conditioned things. Strive on with diligence. Not strive to become enlightened. Not strive to save others. Not strive to escape suffering. Just strive on. Continue. Do not stop. Not because you are behind. Not because you need to catch up. Because striving is what living beings do. The fish swims. The bird flies. The human strives. But strive with diligence. Not with desperation. Not with grasping. Not with anxiety. Diligence is patience in motion. It is the still lake reflecting the sky while the clouds move through it. Let me tell you one final story. A woman named Hemamali came to Monk's temple on the last day of her life. She was 93 years old. She had been a lay practitioner for 7 decades. She had meditated every morning since she was 20. She did not come for instruction. She came to say goodbye. The teacher asked, "Have you achieved what you sought?" Hemamali smiled. "I never sought anything. I just Saturday." "Then what have you learned in 70 years?" She thought for a moment. "I learned that patience is not a practice. It is a recognition. You do not become patient. You realize you always were. The waiting was just forgetting." She paused. "I forgot thousands of times. I remembered thousands of times. Forgetting and remembering. That was the practice." The teacher said, "And now?" Hemamali looked out the window at the Bodhi tree. Its leaves shimmered in the afternoon light. "Now I remember without needing to try." She died that night. Her daughter said her last breath was no different from her first meditation. In. Out. Present. No drama. No fear. Just release. This is your inheritance. Not enlightenment as a prize. Not patience as an achievement. Just the quiet recognition that you have always been here, breathing, present, waiting to remember what you already know. You will forget. This is guaranteed. The world is loud. The mind is restless. The old habits are deeply worn. But forgetting is not failure. Forgetting is the invitation to remember again. And again. And again. Each return is patience. Each breath is diligence. Each moment you stop clutching the roof and let the rain pass through you is the Buddha lying down between the sal trees. Impermanent. Conditioned. Passing away. And still here. So now we part. Not because the teaching ends. Because the teaching must become yours. You do not need my voice to remind you. You do not need this temple to house you. You do not need the word patience to be patient. You need only to sit. Wherever you are. Whenever you remember. However many times you forget. Sit. Feel the weight of your body. Notice the silence behind the noise. Recognize the part of you that has never been in a hurry. That part has no name. It has no age. It has no progress to measure and no goal to achieve. It is just here. Always here. Waiting to be recognized. And now, in this moment, it is recognized. Not because I told you it exists. Because you have always known. You were just waiting to remember. This is patience. This is the highest virtue. This is the path the Buddha walked, and the path he pointed to, and the path you are walking right now, whether you realize it or not. You are already wet. You have always been the lake. Thank you for walking this path with Monk's Temple. May you remember what you have always known. May you sit without rushing. May you release without grasping. May you strive on with diligence. And may your patience become not something you practice, but something you are. Sadhu. Sadhu. Sadhu.